And she's like, and they're like, and she's like, and then she runs. Hello, welcome to a fucking spontaneous video because I got bored while I was filming a video essay. So we're gonna talk about Comphet. Comphet, which is an abbreviation of compulsive heterosexuality. Compulsory heterosexuality. A term popularized by the poet, essayist, and feminist Adrienne Rich in her essay Compulsory Heterosexuality and Lesbian Existence, 1980. Compulsory heterosexuality is an experience unique to lesbians, in which they become convinced that they must be attracted to men or be heterosexual because of the structure of patriarchal and heteronormative society. So basically, society says woman must like man and be controlled by man, but lesbianism is an existence in which men are irrelevant to our romantic lives and attraction. So compulsory heterosexuality is like the forcing of men into the lives of women who are not attracted to men in order to control them. When I was young, in my youth, my little days when I was walking around with my long hair and my weird side fringe thing and I'd fucking coal the shit out of my eyes, I was really into reading those kind of cheesy YA novels. We got the Twilight, Fallen, also Don't Die Dragonfly, Evermore, Fruits Basket, Hunger Games, and the entire Maximum Ride series. Excuse me. There's also a book series called Sweep by Kate Tiernan, which I was mega into when I was like 12. And also, yeah, just all your general, like, he was a boy, she was a girl stories. I fucking frothed those. Obsessed. I read through all of them and I was like, this is what life is. This is what life should be. I should do this. Because you see, the way they set those stories up, they like completely sort of romanticize this idea of what a man is, because they're all men written by women. And to expand on that real quick, they're men written by women who are attracted to men, or by men who think they know how women perceive them. And so these books give ammunition to the psyche, specifically the lesbian psyche, to justify reasons to be attracted to men. So they're like, yeah, he's like so mysterious and dark, and like, what is up with this guy? And then he like fucking stabs the oh no, wait. And then like the protagonist fucking stabs her soulmate in the neck with like a ceremonial dagger or something. I fucking love that book series, by the way. I'm talking about Sweep by Kate Tiernan. I'm assuming that I will put an edit of the book cover here. There's a total of 15, I believe, books in it. I first encountered those books when I was 11. They were introduced to me by a librarian at my primary school, and they were titled Wicca. So the series was written by an American author and was published as Sweep around the world, but when it came to UK and Ireland, they published the series under the title Wicca, and for some reason that was the book that I encountered in the library at my primary school in Australia. So, and basically
they follow the path of the protagonist Morgan, and she doesn't know that she's a witch yet. So she comes from like a Christian household, and she's like, oh, I'm so good at maths and I've got good grades and boys are scary and stuff like that. She's like 16. Basically the bad boy of the book series, Cal, comes to town. He's just moved there with his weird witchy mum. I say this even though I'm pagan myself, so yeah, she is weird though. So basically, he like is this guy who can fit in with any crowd, and she's like, oh wow, he's so cool, but I'm so shy, I don't know how to talk to people, but he just like comes up sometimes and talks to me, and it's so cool. And then he decides to like invite all of these different groups of people, like he sort of like meshes a bunch of social circles together to come to this pagan ritual circle. in a fucking field near a cemetery or something, which, you know, yeah, cool, sounds nice. And Morgan's like, ooh, he's so cool, and then they like all dance and spin around and do some chants, and then Morgan basically explodes with power, and she has to like ground herself at the end of the circle, and everyone's like, whoa, what was that? That was so weird. And she's like, what's happening? And then Cal's like, lie on the dirt, Morgan. And so she like lies down in the dirt and then like grounds herself, and the energy like seeps out of her body and stuff. And she's like, what was that? Cal tells her, you're a witch, Morgan. So that's book 1. And she's like, kind of like, what the fuck? What's happening? I don't understand. And then book 2, we dive in and she's all like, oh, I'm a witch, which means that my parents must be witches too, because I'm a blood witch, so it only comes down through like the blood. And so then she gets all excited and goes home and is like, Mom and Dad, I'm a witch. And they're like, in our Christian household? No, you are not. And she's like, well, if I'm not a witch, then you're not my parents. And then they're like, and she's like, and they're like, and she's like, and then she runs and she like dives into their like her dad's study and is like, where's my birth certificate? She's throwing everything over. She's like, where is it? Where is it? She pulls it out and he's like, Morgan, no. And she's like, what? You're not my parents, because she's adopted. But she like storms out of the house, and then like she meets Cal or something, or she sends him like I think she sends him a psychic message and is like, I need you, I need Cal. And like she uses her little witchy senses and she goes, pew! And then he like shows up on the side of the road where she's parked and is like, Morgan, what's happened? And she's all, I'm adopted. And he's like, no, that's so shit. And then they're like, And so he's like, oh yeah, Morgan's so cool, she's got great powers, I'm gonna make her my girlfriend, and then we'll have powerful babies. When I was 12, reading this book, I was like, yeah, Cal is so cool. I imagined he looked like that guy that plays it in like a Cinderella story, and he's also in Gilmore Girls. Yeah, I always imagined Cal looked just like that. So I was 12, and those are like ideal eyes. So I was like, yeah, that's what Cal looks like, and he's like so cool, and he's got like his little pentacle necklace and stuff. He's like Prince Charming, but like pagan. Lo and behold, Cal is being manipulated by his mother to sort of strengthen their genes. It's like some total fucking weird eugenics bullshit, like real messed up stuff. And Morgan like doesn't believe when people are saying that he's not good and he's bad for her and stuff. And then these cousins come to town. They're from England. One of them's named Hunter, and one of them's named Sky. Hunter's like, yeah, he's a part of like the Council of Witches, and he's like one of the lower down people in the Council of Witches, like the little field guys. And so Hunter's there, and he's like, okay, I'm like investigating, and Morgan's like, I hate you. I don't know why, but I hate you. And he's like, whoa, Morgan, chill the hell out. And she's like, you real sus, Hunter. I don't believe you when you say you're part of the council. You're talking shit, stuff like that. And so she's like, there's no way that Cal is dangerous. I can't believe you're investigating him. Like, leave him the hell alone and stuff. And Hunter's like, I'm trying to do my job, dude. And she's like, ugh, you're so gross. Ooh, Hunter, yucky. Even though, like, sometimes she's like, oh, he's so hot. But even though he's so attractive, I hate him. And she literally has no reason to hate him other than she thinks that Cal is in danger from him. So she's like, fuck you, dude. Basically, Cal's like, yeah, we're soulmate mates. We're, like, supposed to have this bond. And then she's like, yeah, Cal, you're so right. And then Cal's like, here, I'll give you this necklace. You hold on to it. It's like his pentacle necklace. And she's like, oh, Cal, that's so nice of you. You're so lovely. And then, like, meanwhile, Hunter's still, like, got his little edgy thing going, like, oh, Morgan, Cal's dangerous. You should not, like, be with him. You should break up with him and stuff. And she's like, how dare you tell me what to do with my life? How dare you tell me to break up with my boyfriend? Who the hell do you think you are? And, yeah, so then, Cal and Hunter have this, like, really intense battle one night in, like, a forest, I think it was. And basically they're like fucking killing each other and shit, and they're like on the edge of a cliff, and Morgan's like, no, Hunter, don't kill him. And then she like gets her like asame, which is a ceremonial dagger, and she like throws it at him, and it like stabs him in the throat, and then he like falls over the edge of the river, and Cal's like, Morgan, you saved my life. And then they like go like home, and she brings him back to his mother, and his mother's like, Cal, what happened? Oh my god, are you okay? Morgan, you protected him, blah blah blah. You did the right thing by killing that guy and chucking him over the edge of the lake and stuff. Like in her head she's like, I know I did the right thing, but why do I feel so guilty? It's like, dude, you just killed a person, what the hell?
I've kind of realized that this has turned into a bit of a, like, book review, I guess, or a summary of the entire plot of the Sweep series. But I don't know if anyone's, like, interested in actually reading the book series. It's a little dated now, but also it's kind of a vibe. These sorts of books like the Sweep series and books like Twilight as well. Like Edward was so cool. But he's also like a total weirdo. Like, what the fuck, 98-year-old dude. Or however old he was like almost 100. but he's like still in high school and still going after teenage girls. Like, he's a total predator, dude. What the hell? And Morgan and Bella Swan has no goddamn clue. But at the same time, it's like I still like rewatching Twilight now and then, because it's like, I guess it is nostalgia. It's like going back in time and revisiting those things that helped develop my silly little brain. Because the writing style of those sorts of books, it's very good for people who bark. Yeah, so we've got Twilight. So it's basically girl falls in love with mysterious edgy dude, then gets drawn into his life and his whole family, and like sort of falls into his world, and then that sort of becomes her identity and a part of her. Then we've got books like Fallen, which is kind of the same thing, except she's like being constantly reincarnated, and then this angel guy is going and finding her every time she gets reincarnated. He exists to seek her out in a way. It's like his main purpose in life is like, oh, I love you so much, I'm gonna go find you again and again. And then with the Sweep series, it's kind of like girl discovers she's adopted, and then she like falls in love with a guy, and then like they like build their relationship around their like powers and the fact that they're both witches. And then she discovers she gets like betrayed by him, and then she discovers that her real soulmate Hunter was being magically blocked from her, and blah blah blah. And I was like, oh yeah, that's so cool. Like the fact that these guys are all like loving her, and that their little male gaze is on her, and that she's like so high up and powerful. And I don't know, they're female-centric books, but at the same time, it's very much about how the men in the books perceive the protagonist. But they also explore quite in depth, like how they perceive themselves, I guess. They're not like awful books. They're just, yeah, targeted towards young teens, basically. You know, I did very much enjoy books like that at that time period of my life, because I was young and I just wanted to fit in, you know? That's how it is when you're a teenage girl. But I do wonder how my social development would have changed if those stories were queer instead of heterosexual. Would I have thought about myself and the possibilities for my identity differently back then, if that was the case? Or would I have, like, still gone towards these things because they're accepted as the norm, you know? Yeah, so to wrap up, whatever the hell point of what I've been trying to say is, we need more queer YA stories. We always do. I mean, like, since then I've read a lot, and I guess, like, in the last couple, maybe 4 or 5 years actually, I've been going more in depth into, like, queer stories and reading them all and stuff. And my perceptions of myself definitely have changed dramatically, because I can, like, find more things to relate to it and sort of, like, get back some of those formative years of, like, yeah, believing untruths about myself. So next video I'm going to be doing a review and a little video essay about Ocean Vuong's On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous, which is a queer story. So you can stay tuned for that one. Like, press that little subscribe button if you're interested in that. I think I'll make some nice points about it and sort of go in depth about the plot and the story and why it's important, and about the building of nostalgia in that book, which is sort of similar to what I was talking about today, but it'll be more literary focused, a little less goofs. So yeah. Bye.